for the final time this season. We know which three will book their place in the shootout, but the one thing we haven't worked out is quite which order that will come into. But when it comes to racing, everything is bigger in Texas, and so at the Circuit of the Americas, it's gonna be a case of who can stand up on ceremony and say they have what it takes. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, wherever you're watching around the world. My name's Jake Sperry, Reese Gardner, along with me here today. And Reese, COTA is one of those tracks where it is one that you like or one that you hate. It's an amalgamation of everything that is great about racing circuits around the world, and it's one of those tracks where there is always the opportunity to have a great chance of winning.
Absolutely, Jake. Final round of the season here, and man, it's going to be a huge conclusion to this championship. We started things off at Sebring back in June. Lime Rock certainly turned it up. So did VIR North, Watkins Glen International, the Slipstream Festa, that one. Virginia International Raceway full. The second race, the win was decided by 0.02 of a second. It's so close in this championship, a testament to how intense this competition is. We go to Circuit of the Americas for the final round of the season here. As you said, an incredibly difficult circuit, one that you need to be on your A game the whole way around.
I'll tell you what will shock you in the history of the Skip Barber Formula iRacing series, 0.02 of a second is not the smallest margin. Now, there's a drop round implemented here as we look at our current standings. Your top three are safe as they are. Matt Caruana, Aaron Vasquez, and Aiden Young, because Felipe Cabrera Loyola and Victor Wolfsohn can't muster the points enough to jump up ahead to move into that top three. Now, Aiden Young can finish second in the championship. Matt Caruana can also finish second in the championship. Vasquez can finish first, second, or third, Reese.
Yeah, certainly a lot of open opportunity for pretty much everyone in the top three. Caruana has been the form driver, but of course we do have to take those drop rounds into account. We have multiple championship scenarios in our notes here, and we'll obviously go through them as we go through the broadcast, but one thing's for sure, the competition up the front is going to be incredibly close. Well, the track here at Circuit of the Americas, one of the premier racing venues in the United States, built for Formula One back in 2012. First turn at Big Red, named for one of the Texas billionaires that helped to found the track here. It's an incredible circuit, plenty of elevation change, Jake, and that stadium section near the end, inspired by the Hockenheim Ring, is going to be some of the best racing opportunities we're going to see. But those S's at the start of the lap, I think we're going to be seeing more than a few drivers hit the anti-cuts at those apexes.
Oh, they stare at you, don't they? They're always so difficult. A 3.42 miler, a 5.5 kilometer track, which was first driven by David Coulthard when there wasn't even any pavement on this track, and he drove it very lovely in a Red Bull. So that will be something to keep in note as drivers will look at turn 11, turn 12 as the best place to go and make moves happen. But qualifying is currently underway. We're down to just a minute and 20 seconds before we find ourselves then with the order all nicely set, and those secondary laps which become critical as we watch car number one, Matt Caruana, just 18 years of age, Reese, and he has driven well beyond his years.
Certainly has. He's the championship leader for a reason, and he's nailed the lap around here so far. Let's see what he can do to improve on that time that he is looking to set. You only get one lap over the 5 minutes of qualifying to set your time for the grid, but reason Matt Caruana has the number one is because he topped pre-qualifying. Can he do the same here as he crosses the line? That's going to be a 2:07.39 for him, and now it's just up to everyone else to try and match that.
It very much is, and we'll take a look at that starting grid as it forms, but there is so much amazing action that has gone on through this season. I am hyped to see how that goes as we take a little look at what comes up next. So they've got one lap alone qualifying they've done, but they've got two 15-minute races to get themselves sorted. And the big key is that race one, Reese, determines where they stack for race two.
Yes, you need to get a good finish in race 1, otherwise race 2's not going to go well for you, and there is a lot of potential for your championship to be decided in the opening laps of the first race. So everyone, as I said, needs to be on their A game. Fix setups as well. The only thing you can change in these cars on board is the brake bias, I believe, so everyone's taking it as best they can. It's time for the grid, Jake.
Matt Caruana and Aaron Vasquez, your top 2 in the championship, 1 and 2, and the driver 3rd in the championship, Aiden Young, is there in 3rd position. Leo Ovcharov will go from 4th position as Matt Adams will line up in 5th, along with Cade Middleton in 6th position overall. Matt Buser, the veteran, will go from 7th with Christopher Aitken in 8th place, leading Cameron Martineau and Jeffrey Decker to house the top 10 of the field. Bryce Wyatt and Ryan Otto, they will be on row positions numbers 11 and 12. Max Repolust and Ross Banfield will be 13th and 14th, with Edwin Rivera and Edwin Onofre making it an all-Edwin 8th row of the grid. Kinish Martin will go in 17th, with Neil Anantala in 18th position, leaving just Sebastian Schettini to go from 19th position, as they will have half a lap behind the iRacing sedan pace car to get themselves up to speed and situated as they look to try and make this all work. So, as it all looks to set itself up and prepare, I would say, Reese, that this is the last time where you just collect your nerves, have a little bit of an understanding of what will make this tick. And I would say, above all else at this point, just make sure that you give yourself the opportunity to survive.
Yeah, opportunities to survive is what you'll be looking for. And around COTA, there aren't many. Obviously, it's built for Grand Prix racing, so there's expansive runoff areas around this place. But every single turn is different to the next, and rhythm is so important, particularly in the first half of the lap. They're starting on this long back straight, coming up to the very tight left-hander that you've got to brake at max threshold for. We already know that the slipstream is incredibly strong in these Formula IRO4 machines, so I think this corner that they're coming up to right now off the dummy grid is going to be the best passing opportunity of the lap.
Well, if they can find it, and if they will find the overtake that is available, it will happen. And for those at the front, your top 3, we do note the ramifications needed to secure the various elements that are needed. For a 2nd place in the championship for the likes of Aiden Young, he will need today to get victory in both races. And for Aaron Vasquez to score no more than 9 points. So that is any 2nd place finish today or 2 third-place finishes. That's good enough for Aaron Vasquez to confirm 2nd place overall. Aaron Vasquez can snatch the title away from the likes of one Mr. Matt Caruana. It does require, though, for Aaron Vasquez to pick up his 3rd and 4th victories of the season, and for Matt Caruana to have at least 2 finishes outside of the top 5. So that is the play that we have in store today. Who can manage to find the points at the best places at the right time when it is most critically needed? It's going to be all about setting up the run, because it's one of the widest turn entries to start a lap you could possibly ask for at Big Red turn number 1. And so as they work their way, the pace car diving down in, they take the Andretti, turn number 20 on circuit. And how aggressive do you want to launch at the start? Waiting for that green flag to drop and for this penultimate race of the season to get itself underway. It's 15 minutes worth of action here from Circuit of the Americas, and the drop starts now, and the fan begins immediately at 2, at 3 wide, and the side-by-side begins up the hill towards turn 1. It's Caruana on the inside. It's Vasquez trying to make it work around the outside, and he'll extend a little bit there over the AstroTurf, but nothing more that can be done about it. Aiden Young happy to slot into 3rd position. A nice clean start off of the front drivers. They work themselves through now to the dreaded S's section.
Need to be single file through here. It's practically impossible to go side by side through this section, especially lap 1 cold tires. And then you need to get your run right coming up the hill here. Stick all the way to the right-hand side of the circuit, widen the entry, on the throttle as hard as you can. Keep it off that AstroTurf there. COTA is one of the easiest tracks to get the dreaded off-track 1X. But then the second hairpin of the lap. This is the most important acceleration zone of the lap, Jake. This is where the slipstream gets set up.
Yeah, we're going to be expecting passes aplenty down this section. Matt Adams having a good run in 4th. Matt Buser then into 5th position. So a couple Mats watch on the championship battles. Then at the front, Caruana in control and knows he doesn't have to do anything too silly. And there goes the push by Vasquez down to the inside, but the outside line can be held lovely by Matt Caruana, and he will hold that. Perfectly done, well poised, but this arena section continues on the switchback. 13, 14, and now through 15 and into turn 16 with a little throw to the inside. 17 will soon be waiting, and there is Aiden Young's perspective there with the laid-back driving position. Sat in 3rd place, realising that if he wants to go and get higher in the championship than 3rd, he's got to go get it.
Yeah, he's got a front row seat to the battle here between Caruana and Vasquez, and they almost came together in the arena section, but they gave each other just enough space to get going. Lap 1 already complete for the first of these 2 15-minute sprints here tonight. And now another slipstream opportunity back up into Big Red once again. The field has formed up nicely into a single file running order, but now is the time where you need to get your tires up to temperature and start to push if you want to get it done.
One car down in the pits then after the end of the opening lap, and that is Anantala, who is down there in the pits, so not much that can be done about that. There's your points on the right-hand side and the gaps that will manifest because of it. Matt Caruana leads this field and would effectively be champion if it stays like this. Aaron Vasquez with a second would do enough then to finish 2nd overall in the championship with Aiden Young in 3rd. Remember, there isn't that much difference between 1st, 2nd and 3rd in the championship race. They all book their places to the Skip Barber shootout, which will be taking place at VIR later this year, and one driver will get a wonderful chance to win a $500,000 seat to drive one of these next year.
Yeah, it's a massive prize that these drivers are fighting for. If you finish 4th and 5th in the championship, you get 1 day of Skip Barber Racing School, and there's also a hard charger award we have to think about per race. They'll get 1 day of the Skip Barber Racing School as well. Looking through the field, looking for positions being gained, I'm seeing that Bryce Wire has made his way from 11th up to 8th at the end of that first lap, and that looks to be one of the bigger gains in this field thus far, so he's already in the hot seat. But our leaders are continuing here through the arena section. This is where Aaron Vasquez tried to pull it up the inside on lap 1, but he's a bit too far behind to get it done from that point. Caruana and Vasquez both having a fun time out there, evidently. Caruana having a bit of a giggle. He's enjoying having a clear track in front of him.
Well, why wouldn't he? Because that's what he's done on 6 occasions so far this season, and it could very well be 7 and 8 by the time that he gets to it. Caruana has been driving fantastically. Both he and Aaron Vasquez, I think, have been eyeing up a place over at the Sim Gaming Expo this weekend and trying to get what they can. Look, he's eating in the middle of his show. That's incredible. He's eating while he's driving.
Little snack on the way down the start-finish straight. Enough for a little bit of extra energy for the braking zone for turn 1. But Vasquez, he is the face of concentration right now. He is right on the rear wing, the rear crash structure of Matt Caruana as they make their way into the S's again. And you see those orange anti-cut curves at the apexes. I mean, it's so difficult to nail the line through that section in the first place. You hit one of those, you are going to go flying. These open wheel cars have very stiff suspension. They have to take advantage of the downforce and the grip, and you don't want any unsettling whatsoever. Time for the straight again. Does Vasquez have anything for Caruana here?
Well, that's the question. It's 3 clear, then the group starts to form with another 3 of Adams, Ovcharov and Busa. So Leo Ovcharov through on Matt Booster, now up into 5th position. Bryce Wire leads the 3rd group with Middleton, Otto, Martineau and Aitken in play. Here comes the look over to the inside. Aaron Vasquez then pulling himself across, getting himself the line that he wants to. The camera gets completely ruined there as they go over the top of the drivers, but critically, Vasquez gets what he wants, and now here comes Aiden Young, and they're going to fan it out to 3, trying to make it work. Young can't turn in as early as he'd like. He's stuck on the outside, which will turn to the inside here for this next section of 16, which will come along. And look at this for a crossover. Caruana's got to go around the outside of 3 consecutive rights and try and get this done. A look from the observatory to see just how tough that is.
Yeah, very tough indeed. You get the inside into turn 17 and you stay there, you are likely to get the position. And that's exactly what's happened to Aiden Young. But now he has to face off against Caruana on the inside. It wouldn't make sense to go for a dive at the final corner. You've got the entire start-finish straight to set up a slipstream. But worth noting, that little exchange between our top 3 has brought Adams, Ovcharov and Busa right into this. It could soon become a full-on 6-way battle for the lead of this race. For the moment, Adams is in the jump seat, waiting for that opportunity to get on the podium.
Well, there aren't many laps around here because the lap time around this place does tick by very slowly. Matt Adams, as we take a look, is the sort of driver here in the Skip Barber series that does have wins, had win at Watkins Glen a couple years ago in this series, but ultimately, his wins are few and far between. He's someone who pops up very much like, I would say, a Pierre Gasly or an Esteban Ocon and wins once in a blue moon.
Yeah, he's certainly got the skill to do it, and, well, he's got a triple slipstream ahead of him to take advantage of. Needs to nail the run into this hairpin, though. One of the big characteristics of COTA is something we see on a lot of modern racing venues where at the hairpins, the track widens a lot to the apex, so you can't actually see your apex when you turn in for the corner. Nailing the run out of those turns is essential to a good run down the straight. That's exactly what Caruana's just done. Here it comes up the inside of Young, and let's see how hard Aiden defends this one. All over the curb for our top 2, but Caruana slips up the inside. Bit of a slide on the way out. He has secured it over Aiden Young, for the moment anyway.
Yeah, it's a lovely pass that gets it done, and it brings the championship gap back to 15 points. But remember, those drop rounds are going to play a critical factor in the way that drivers will be scoring here. And it is worth noting that there are drivers there like the number 15 of Matt Busa who will be jumping up in points. You've got Leo Ovcharov who will be jumping up in points as well and gaining what is necessary. So you've got a look at where everyone goes. And remember, it's not just about who's making, runs at the front. That's a bit close there for Matt Caruana, who almost runs up the rear of Aaron Vasquez. It's about the hard charger as well, that one driver who's been running through the order.
Yeah, absolutely. Bryce Wire has made his way up to 7th now, and Ryan Otto is following him from 12th to 8th. Pass behind Ovcharov, passing Adams into the hairpin, and so the number 2 car now occupies 4th position. He'll be the one leading that attack on the top 3, but it seems that exchange has given a bit of breathing room to Aiden Young and Matt Caruana. They can focus once again on pursuing Vasquez.
They certainly can. Leo Ovcharov has been in every single iteration of the Skip Barber Formula iRacing series, and on so many occasions he knocks on the door and says he's close on pace, but he hasn't yet had the ability to jump in and say, I am shootout material just yet, but he'd love to move up into 3rd place if he could. Matt Adams doing well. They are dropping Matt Busa. He's now down a 2.5, so it's 5 clear at the front, and Aaron Vasquez leads that train, and happy to do so at the moment. But here's a little stat for you as well, Reese. Every time Matt Caruana's won a race 1, he's gone and won a race 2.
Yeah, he's got great form, and he can build that momentum for sure. We're only, by my timing, going to have 2 laps to go when the leaders cross the line next, so still quite a bit of action to come. This fight here for 8th is incredible. Cade Middleton trying his best to get around Ryan Otto here, and they got Martineau and Aitken right in the midst of this one as well. The number 5 trying his best, but not quite getting it done. Wide entry. He had to have a couple of goes at the steering there. It looks like that might open up the opportunity to Cade.
Yeah, that was a little bit jabby in terms of the way you got to go around the corner. And so when you're looking around at that, Otto's got to be so switched on to the fact that Kane Middleton will be looking every which way to try and get that place back. Cameron Martineau's happy to follow in the wheel tracks and stay in that position of 10th. But if you want to go out there and be aggro and find that place, yes, it might work, that sort of stabby style of entry, but I would turn around and say, be very careful about how much you do it. Taking a look then from Cameron Martineau's perspective then, up the hill to turn one, you can see how much he has to look over on his setup then to get in through the corner, and he's fighting against the steering wheel down the hill, because the moment that you get over turn number 1 there, Reese, you're down the hill, so it's so easy to loop the car around.
Yeah, you need to nail the traction out of turn 1, but it's very easy to spin up the rears, even in these Formula IRO4s. They are definitely nowhere near as powerful as some of the higher level open wheel racing cars we have on the iRacing service, but they can still get the rear wiggling around. They drive like oversized go-karts. You have to rotate them through the corners to get the best out of them. And that can be very difficult to do when you can't quite see your track out point into hairpins like this.
No, it's very difficult. Again, he's having to fight there through the corner as the steering wheel says, I want a little bit of afters to go along with it. Has a little bit of a look up and a little bit of a hope and a prayer that it's going to play out. They're battling hard for the race lead as well. They've got it back down to a group of 3, and those are the 3 main protagonists that you will see at the shootout, which find themselves there. Martineau nowhere near close enough. No movement on the train. And why would there be? There'd still be 2 laps of racing after this.
Yeah, back up front, I noticed that Matt Caruana was drafting up to the back of Aaron Vasquez down the back straight, but he didn't go for the move. It's a bit of a wily, sly strategy, I think, that Caruana's trying to pull off there. He wants to stay back there so that he can get the best slipstream on the final lap. And, you know, Jake, we have done so many shows together. You've heard me say this so many times. It's better to get the move done as late as possible so the other driver doesn't have a chance to fight back. Let's see how they can do here on this next lap here, and it does look like it might be 2 laps to go.
Yeah, 2:14 remaining on the clock when they cross the line. I think they might have a handful of seconds in the back pocket, which will lead to another chance to scrap. Caruana looking a little bit listless then behind Aaron Vasquez. These 2 happy to drive nose to tail, and they've talked about each other this season and said, we just want to make sure that we both book our place because we're both quick and we both want a fair fight when it comes to racing action at VIR this fall. So that is what they've been trying to prioritise, making sure they both book their place. I'd look at someone like Aidan Young, who has been, I would say, one of the sim racers out there, Reese, that has grown year on year, has had his dad helping him as a spotter in certain races. Now that he's had the ability to go out there, show what he's all about, he's trying to say that I am on the same level of Aaron Vasquez and Matt Caruana, and this might be the place he wants to prove it.
Yeah, I've been watching Aidan Young for a couple of years now in various kinds of car. First made headlines for me in GT4 competition. He is super skilled, and he deserves to be up there with that top 2 there, Vasquez and Caruana. But you see once again that Caruana is lifting near the end of the straight. He is going right up to the back of Vasquez, but he's not going for the move. Yeah, this top 3, they are just driving in lockstep right now, and it looks like that might be, oh, hello, seeing some movement further down in the field as well. But yeah, the battle is certainly on up the front here. And once we get that white flag, goodness me, this is going to go off.
Half a minute remaining on the clock. It looks like Aiken losing positions out there. Middleton and Wire going for it, as now your biggest mover and shaker becomes Ryan Otto. 15 seconds about to tick on the clock, but 1 corner to go on this lap, which means we'll get 1 more. Vasquez, Caruana and Young will all figure it out. There's Barney there on the right, waving the white flag, saying you got 1 more lap yet to try and figure this out. And look at them hiding behind our timing tower and going forward. There's a massive moment for Bryce Wire out the final corner. He drops a number of places down the field. I wonder whether his front wings completely collapsed as he's gone down the order. Boosa dropping down now to 8th position. You got the likes of so many troubles. Rivera in the pits and out, and Caruana having a little bit of a sniff there, trying to go through the S's, and it's not easy to make a move like that through the S's section. You just got to be poised when you get out to the exit here through the big left of turn 7. Then you got 8 and 9, and over the top to 10, 11, and then turn 12, the best place to go and pass out of 9, over the crest down through turn 10, and now looking towards turn 11. It plateaus out here, and there is chances. Aiden Young back at half a second. I don't think it's close enough to make something happen here, but look at Matt Caruana, a little bit of counter steer there from the inside right tyre to now try and figure this all out and say, how many points do I want to put in the back pocket? MC for the main character, moving down to the inside. Has he got the angle needed? Vasquez has to cover back off then against Aiden Young, and Caruana throws it down into the corner and gets the move, but it's not confirmed just yet, because here comes Aaron Vasquez around the outside as he enters the arena. Little bit of contact between them. Does Aiden Young find a way to the outside to sneak one? No, but now you got to try and get the triple right sorted, and Vasquez is so narrow. Look at the defense needed there by Matt Caruana. He was as narrow as you like, and Vasquez trying to sneak away around the outside here to get the inside of 19, crosses over the B to go around the outside, uses the off track to his advantage to try and take turn 20. Here comes Aiden Young to the inside. Matt Caruana, oh, as staunch as you like, takes it.
Incredible final lap there. There was a bit of contact between Vasquez and Caruana through turn 17 and 18. And ultimately, Vasquez ran deep at the final corner. That's given Leo Ovcharov 3rd place.
Wow. So because then the penalty wouldn't have been served, that's going to be an added 40 seconds on at the end of the race then by the time we get to result. So things like that could play a huge factor at the end, and it will now for second in the championship, because Aaron Vasquez here now finds himself in an awkward position. So Caruana wins, Aiden Young is second, it's then Ovcharov and Vasquez who's now down into 4th position. Matt Adams will finish 5th, and Ryan Otto and Kane Middleton will be 6th and 7th. Matt Boosa 8th, Ross Banfield 9th, and Jeffrey Decker rounding out your top 10. Edwin Onofre would be 11th ahead of Christopher Aiken, with Kanish Martin in 13th ahead of Sebastian Schettini. Cameron Martineau would be in 15th, a lap down for Bryce Wire, and same for Max Repulus, with Edwin Rivera and Neil Anantala then 2 and 7 laps down respectively. Now we are going to get the chance to talk with one absolutely fantastic driver then in terms of how they go, but as far as things go, we're going to jump for just one moment. We'll come back with one final race after this.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win.
Formulated to win.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Formulated to win, proven by me.
Proven by me.
Proven by me.
Redline Oil, formulated to win, proven by me.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. in officially licensed cars engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Well, one race is still left to be decided to get all the T's crossed and the I's dotted. But now you start thinking, what is left for those who need to conquer? They know that they have a job to do in the real world when it comes to action over in VIR. One of those drivers who'll be taking that chance is your race winner from race number 1, Matt Caruana, who will be with us right now as we get a chance to chat. Matt, we call you MC, main character, by the way that you battle, the way that you have to try and hold yourself to account. But looking at the way you had to fight in the final stages there to get that position, to get your 7th win of the season, for you, how do you look at that result and now trying to look to convert it heading over to VIR this fall?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's an amazing opportunity. I'm over the moon with that result. That was a really good race. Great way to secure my place. But yeah, I think now just focusing on all the stuff that you do for real life, like fitness, obviously a bit of sim prep, because obviously we've got Virginia, and then yeah, hopefully everything transfers over in the F4 car.
Well, we hope it does. We'll wish you the best of luck and get you back to some very quick practice for one final race. Matt Caruana there joining us and having a wonderful go. It's Jake Sperry, it's Reese Gardner here. And Reese, it is quite simply put wonderful to see amazing sim racers at this level showing that dedication and knowing how quick Matt Caruana's been against a driver, by the way, who's got over 13,000 iRating in Aaron Vasquez, who is the #1 rated sim racer in the world right now.
Yeah, it's crazy. Vasquez, you know, I was looking at his iRating as I was coming into the session. Like, that would strike fear into anyone's heart, seeing those kinds of numbers coming from a driver. But Matt Caruana, what strikes me about him is he's just so chill about the competition and about his talent as well. He really betrays like the fact that he knows how quick he is, and he can get it done. He just did in the first race. Let's see if he can do it again in race 2. We are officially in the gridding phase for the final race of this championship. Let's go.
And they will line up exactly how they finished in race number 1, which means Matt Caruana, who has won every race 2, he's won a race 1 in, will now go from pole as Aiden Young and Leo Ovcharov will be 2nd and 3rd as Aaron Vasquez will be in P4. Matt Adams will go from 5th as Ryan Otto will be in 6th position, making great progress in race 1. Cade Middleton and Matt Busa will be 7th and 8th as Ross Banfield will start 9th, and Jeffrey Decker once again will go from 10th place. Edwin Onofre will go in 11th as Christopher Aitken will join him on the outside of row 6. Kanish Martin will be in 13th as Sebastian Schettini will join on row 7. Cameron Martineau and Bryce Wire will be on row 8 with Max Repulus and Edwin Rivera 8th, 17th and 18th. 19th belonging to Neil Anantula, who's hoping for an easier time with that race 2 despite leaving the race early in race number 1. I look at Matt Caruana and he has that Essex style of confidence out there in the United Kingdom, that he goes from the area that he's from. And I look and say, right, what do you need to go and do now in this final race, knowing that the race results of race 1 have determined this grid for race 2. He's with exactly the same people who have gone and done it again. The one good news you'll have on that start is there's not really that much of an oomph that you get out that final corner for anyone to get a great run on you.
Yeah, exactly. It's going to be difficult. I think with Caruana, I think the start is what he's going to be focusing on the most. He wants to try and get that gap up because Young, Ovcharov, Vasquez as well, they're going to be right on the back of him coming onto this back straight that they're sitting on right now on the dummy grid. Worth pointing out as well, Ryan Otto, he was the hard charger in race number 1. He gained 6 positions to finish P6. So I'm looking forward to seeing what he can do here in race 2 to try and convert that. Now they are rolling. Now the preparation begins. Caruana was scrubbing his tires quite aggressively there.
Well, they're scrubbing their tyres to get heat into them, but I don't think they're going to have much trouble here today, Reese. It's 122 degrees Fahrenheit track temperature.
Goodness gracious, that is 50 degrees Celsius for those of you who live in metric land. That's crazy track temperatures. I mean, it gets hot in Texas for sure, but yeah, I think tire temperature is going to be something the drivers will need to keep a close eye on here in the final race. You burn through them too quickly and you're going to be under fire in the final laps.
Yeah, and so it's going to be a case of once more for these drivers, and there's the confirmation of weather conditions, then it is as hot as Texas hot can get. And so these drivers know that by the time 15 minutes comes about, their tyres are going to feel a little bit second-hand because they'll probably have half of them melted on the circuit. It's what you call fried egg weather out there, because all you do is you crack an egg on the surface of the tyre, or you crack it on the surface of the pavement, and quite frankly, give it a minute, you'll get yourself a fried egg. No worries at all about that. But will it be a case of 8 wins to go and boy with confidence? Who is going to stand up and say, I take the lasting message away from the Skip Barber Formula iRacing Series for 2025? Rankin comes to mind. Sebastian Weldon comes to mind. The likes, of course, of Ivan Machado Perez comes to mind. And now, mind out for one last time, because let's get ourselves underway here from this wonderful circuit of the Americas, and the long hold for the green flag comes into play. And immediately look at the launches, big power move there from car number 4, making that lunge over to the inside, trying to give Caruana something to think about. They're on the inside, 5 wide they go as they now look to run out and try and find some room. There is just about enough given, but ultimately it's a case of, did you find enough to give yourself what you needed? Wasn't quite there for Aaron Vasquez. Aiden Young now in second.
Yeah, Vasquez had to go for the inside move at turn 1 there. It was his best chance to try and upset the apple cart, so to speak. But ultimately, Young able to stay ahead. And crucially for Caruana, he's gotten the lead out to a couple of car lengths. That might make all the difference when they get to the back straight.
It will mean he'll be safe on this first lap at least, but you really need a second and a half to start breaking that toe up. But as soon as that gap opens, these FIA F4s, they very much bring the toe back in, and you can see it for the first time here, really, the serpentine in full effect. Everyone moving to the inside to move back across on the roller coaster run down the hill to turn 12.
Yeah, here comes the braking zone then. Couple of cars darting out from behind to try and unsettle their rivals into the braking zone. Aiden Young didn't get the best of exits out of the hairpin, but he did grab the slipstream from Matt Caruana and is able to bring the gap ever so slightly down. Vasquez is solidly in contention once more. He needs to try and move around in the mirrors a bit of Aiden Young to unsettle him and try and get the attack on. It's his last chance to grab a better position in this championship.
Well, you can see the reaction there of Aaron Vasquez, who was trying to figure out what way do I have to get through. Very animated out there, and you can see that. Look, 2 hands off the wheel. He's so frustrated that he can't find a way through. And that's the level of a sim racer that he is right now, how hyper-dedicated and focused he is. If he's not first, he's not happy.
Well, he's having a bit of a laugh to himself, but I think it's more of a rueful laugh than anything else. Try as he might, he is having a lot of trouble finding his way past cars in this second race. If you're interested in the hard charger at the moment, Max Repulus is up 4 places, so he is in the hot seat for that one. Live points up on the screen. Caruana, if the race would end right now, extending that championship margin to 30 points over Vasquez, but Young getting within 5 points of Caruana. If Young can somehow move his way past Caruana, potentially that might give him the points he needs to get to second.
Well, he's got to try and move up, so Aiden Young will be looking at this. If he can get up to Caruana, he'll gain 3 more points, and that will get himself close, but he'll know that Aaron Vasquez here has a drop of 4th place. So I think he's just going to be shy by a couple points, even if he does get up to first, but I'm not too sure on the math on that. But at least for this time being, Aaron Vasquez still holding himself in 3rd, still happy to find himself in the slipstream, knowing that you got Aiden Young there in 2nd, Matt Caruana out in front, a bit of side-by-side back there with the likes of Shattini and Martin going at it together, and there goes the throw by Vasquez. Does he run him out of road? Not quite. Vasquez knows that Young's still got the inside line, and he's going to throw it straight back down the inside. Easy as you like. That's a well-held defense.
Yeah, certainly is, and I think Vasquez played that very wisely as well. He knew that Aiden Young was in a great position to defend, so he just decided to give it back. I think that's a really efficient way of getting back into line and making sure that he'll be able to fight a bit further on down the road. Well, there's the comparison of our 2 protagonists in the battle for 2nd place. Young and Vasquez now in focus mode. Young, I think, looking a bit more laid back, but he is having to correct the steering on the exits there, sliding his way out of the corners. That might give Vasquez the chance he needs here. Slipstream down the front straight, uphill braking zone into turn 1 at Big Red, which means the car will be driven into the tarmac. And there goes Vasquez up the inside. Is there any response from Aiden Young? Well, there half was on the acceleration, but Vasquez is through as Middleton and Otto trade spots behind.
Yeah, they're having a wonderful scrap 4th and 5th, but I think Cade Middleton's just holding on. Otto's trying to go for it as well, as we take a look then with Aiden Young on board, as Aaron Vasquez has got his 2nd place, but look at what it's cost them trying to get that move done. They've allowed almost 0.8 of a second now to Matt Caruana. You can't let him run away.
No, on the throttle nice and early. They run all the way across the AstroTurf there. That's one of the places where you can use quite a bit of it beyond the white lines here. And for most corners around COTA, as long as you have 2 wheels on the curbs, you're good. There goes Middleton up the inside of Otto again on the right side of screen. And meanwhile, the slipstream is on again for Aiden Young. But look at the gap that Matt Caruana has. They're only going to have a limited number of laps to get this done. I get the feeling if they want to get victory, Vasquez and Young might have to start working together at this point.
And they're going to be 3 wide as they run on in. There's the 5 of Otto, and through them all is Matt Adams. Malfunction at the junction. Contact tyre to tyre between Otto and I believe Ross Banfield, who will lose out a couple places for that. And it's always difficult down at turn 12. It's such a wide apex entry that you could be about 3 miles to the inside and not see what car's coming down the inside.
Yeah, one of the many pitfalls of COTA there. Very entertaining battling going on behind our top 3 at the moment. Everyone's looking to grab as many points as they can in this final round. And some, like Ryan Otto, haven't been here for a while, at least maybe, making a series debut. So got something to prove here amongst the more established competitors.
Oh, having a huge fight there with the curb on the exit there and through the middle of the corner. Ryan Otto will now be fodder for Leo Ovcharov, who moves over to the inside, looking to take the place away at Big Red. Turn number 1, the big throw down the inside. Otto chucks it in, has another wiggle in the middle of the corner and loses another one. There is the patient face of Cade Middleton there, who never seems disturbed at any point when he's out there driving, and could say very much he's looking to go through. Look at the network that he's got to deal with through the corners. Now, they don't have any G-forces to deal with, but you can see how tense he is on his neck.
Yeah, that's really striking. He is so tense at the moment. And, well, that just goes to show how seriously he's taking this, unless he's been doing those Fernando Alonso-style neck exercises in the gym. That's pretty crazy there from Cade, but he'll try and nail the exit from this hairpin. He is working so hard to get the power on, but I don't think he was happy with that exit.
No, it was a big come on. I need to be a bit better than that because I could get by Matt Adams. I could be in 4th position. I could really go and find as much pressure as possible. And they are looking to trade for the race lead down there. Caruana and Vasquez then having a fantastic duel in the sun. We're not a million miles away from College Station. I know that college football kicked off this year, but right now it's a heavyweight scrap between 1, 2 and 3. It's like if you put Ohio State, Texas and Alabama in the same room.
Yeah, this is an absolute massive cage match between these three now, and I saw Vasquez was trying the same thing at the left-hander there that he did on lap 1 of race 1. He was trying to get the inside run, but COTA is one of those circuits where you need to carry the speed through the apex and sort of cut the other guy off on the exit. Otherwise, they're just going to stay alongside. It's such a wide circuit that the outside line has the advantage on exit.
Troubles then for the likes of Kanish Martin. A lap down for Jeffrey Decker, a lap down for Matt Buser. Side by side back there for 4th as Leo Ovcharov moves on up and gets himself into position. So too does Cade Middleton by the looks of things as well. Your top 3, Caruana, Vasquez and Young in championship order.
Yep. You want to know who the top 3 in the championship are? That's them right there. They are head and shoulders above the rest right now. Looks like a gap of about 3.3 seconds that Aiden Young has to Leo Ovcharov. So they're under no pressure at all for positions from behind. The pressure is all ahead of them.
It very much is. There's the look at your champion-elect, Matt Caruana. There's a look at Aaron Vasquez, who has all of that nervous energy that he just throws out every time he goes. And I tell you what, Aaron Vasquez is the character that holds his heart on his sleeve. At Watkins Glen, he nearly lost the race by throwing it in the grass at the final corner.
Yeah, he certainly did. Well, slipstream picked up again here for Caruana, for Vasquez, sorry. He's going to try on Caruana into this hard braking zone, one of the hardest of the lap and on the calendar as well. But Caruana playing it perfectly once again. He will have the inside line for the right-hander. What does the next left-hander have to say about it? Oh, Caruana blocking the advance there from Vasquez. He didn't leave the inside open that time.
No, and I think this is quite clever here because there's a lot more to just making a pass when it comes to racing action. It's one thing to make a pass, Reese. It's another thing to make a pass, right place, right time.
Yeah, and COTA is one of those places where you really have to pick where you make the move. The final corner here, yes, you brake pretty hard for it. If you're desperate on the final lap, you could do a lunge here, but really, your best chances are to pick up the slipstream down the front straight, go for a move at Big Red. You have to stay behind through the S's. There's no way you can go side by side and not lose time to your competitors. Well, it looks like Vasquez is going to go for it at turn 1 here. The track widens out. They're in an ocean of asphalt right now. But Caruana is continuing to defend beautifully. That was a great traction around the outside.
You saw it there in the look of Caruana's eyes. He didn't want to give that one up, and Aaron Vasquez here might be trying everything he can to make that move, but he's more than found an equal in Matt Caruana here today in terms of this race, and has more than done so over the course of this season. This is a wonderful battle between them, and do not count Aiden Young out as far as that has gone. We've got great scraps up and down the order. We've got the likes of Adams and Middleton and Otto, and this group that's continuing on. This is 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th place at the moment as they just changed for the race lead.
And they did indeed. Vasquez got past Caruana. Let's see if Leo Ovcharov can find his way to 4th there. He's got a chain of incredibly skilled drivers behind him. Ross Banfield just picking up the slipstream in 8th at the back of this one. Cade Middleton, the driver who has gained the most places in that pack. They were almost 3 wide for the race lead there in the foreground. It's starting to get... Oh, it's no longer a battle, Jake. It's a brawl.
It is. It's a case of gloves off, get on the knuckle dusters. And now for the moment, Aaron Vasquez has got his sanctum at the front. It is Aiden Young who has to hold the defence, and Matt Caruana finds himself in 3rd, and now we'll have it all to do with 2 laps to go, we predict at this moment. Matt Adams falls down the order now and drops back to 8th. In further, he's had an issue.
Yeah, he has. That's not ideal there. And I'm sure that we'll figure out what happened to him sooner rather than later. But for the moment, Matt Caruana now finds himself in third, has a double slipstream down the start-finish straight, and we will have 2 laps remaining in this race. This is where you need to set up that fight. I wonder if Caruana's just going to sit pretty in third. No, he's not. He's going for the inside there, almost going straight into the side of Caruana, but the line that he takes allows him to claim second once again.
Absolutely ruthless on the pass against Aiden Young, and Aaron Vasquez, who has gained 3 spots, won't be the hard charger. That's currently in the back pocket of Max Repolust, who's up 9 spaces in this race from 17th up to 8th, and now it's about placement once more. Remember, Matt Caruana got by Aaron Vasquez in race 1 at turn 12 on the last lap. Reese, I think he wants to do that all over again.
Yeah, I think he does as well. And, I mean, he's got the advantage in the championship, as you can see. 22 points is the margin. And I don't think there's much Aaron Vasquez can do other than try and stay in the lead as best he can and hope Caruana has an issue. Here comes the slipstream once again. Now, let's see. Caruana gets closer and closer, but he doesn't pull out of the slipstream, just lifts off and sits right there. Interesting. He doesn't go for it.
I think he gave him a little bit of a touch there. I thought he was thinking about a bump draft on the straight. Very difficult to do in Formula cars, but I think he's sending a message. I could get by you. I could. I want to. I know it's not best for me if I do it now.
Yeah, best place to do it is on the final lap, which is going to be coming up in just a few corners' time, Jake. What a fight it has been between these two all season. Between these 3, throw Aiden Young in there as well. These guys have been the stars of the Skip Barber Formula iRacing series in 2025, and I think all of them are deserving a place in the championship top 3. One more lap coming up. Let's go. Bring it home.
Well, you've got Aiden Young, who has worked so hard in 3rd position, who has put season after season's worth of effort in many different formulas, and now finds himself with a seat at the table. You've got Aaron Vasquez, who is arguably the prince of iRacing himself, with so much. He is the best in the world when it comes to official races on iRacing. But you look at Matt Caruana, that main character, with 7 race wins this season. He wants an 8. He knows he's worth an 8. And he thinks about the inside through the S's, but it's now going to have to play patience once again, because it's never truly on unless you're side by side through that section. The long right of 6, now into turn number 7, the big left hook that comes along, 8 and 9 up the hill, and it's all set up. And will there be gamesmanship between these two? Will Vasquez lift off of it maybe into turn 11, open up the chance into 12? It looks like he's going to have to defend it here. A quarter of a second between them. Aiden Young again back at about 4/10 of a second isn't going to really threaten when it comes to this group of 3. They've put 4 seconds on Leo Ovcharov here from the front, and that group behind him, Middleton, Otto and Banfield. Here comes the main character once again, Matt Caruana, back to the inside. Have you seen this movie before, Aaron? I think you have, as here comes the lunge through. It'll be a hold around the outside and attempt, and using a bit more of the circuit now, trying to get cheeky. Room having to be given there by Caruana, because Vasquez had that inside, and he wants to command the space back once again. Inside still there for Matt Caruana, and can he seal the deal at 16 again? A small gravity anti-cut curve, and again to the outside, tries Aaron Vasquez. Again, he tries it, and now he's trying to pick a pocket, but he's right under the diffuser and the rain light, and he can't do anything more than just stare at it. Caruana straight steering to turn 19. You got to wait for this one corner to come along, and it's going to be side by side for the final time this season. Oh, they're going to go wheel to wheel, and over the line is Aiden Young going to steal one. Heading to the line, he is. Aiden Young steals one.
Oh my Lord! What did we just see? That was an insane final corner. Vasquez going for the huge dive there. And car number 3, I think, is just as stunned as we are, Jake. That was crazy.
Wow. That is what this series is all about. You never know who wins this race until the last corner is turned. Vasquez and Caruana looked at each other, said, do you want this one? Aiden Young said, yoink, I'll have that. Takes it 600th over Aaron Vasquez. Matt Caruana will finish third. Leo Ovcharov and Cade Middleton will be fourth and fifth, as Ryan Otto would finish in sixth place, with Ross Banfield and Max Reppeler seventh and eighth. Bryce Wyatt and Sebastian Schettini making up your top 10. Reppeler's, by the way, your hard charger. Edwin Rivera would be 11th ahead of Cameron Martineau. Edwin Onofre would be 13th ahead of Christopher Aitken. Neil and Antilla would make good progress into 15th, and the retirees being Matt Adams, Kanish Martin, Matt Buser, and Jeffrey Decker making up your 19 here for the final round this year of the Skip Barber Formula iRacing series. But quite frankly, we have had some incredible battling that has brought itself to the fore. And what more can you say, Reese, after a battle like that? It was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it absolutely was. I understand, Sperry, you've had a chance to catch up with our champion, Matt Caruana.
Yeah, absolutely. There he is, your 2025 Skip Barber Formula iRacing Series champion from the United Kingdom, and he will have an absolutely massive smile from ear to ear. Hopefully we'll get a chance to chat with him in just a moment's time there, the number one. In fact, we'll go and get him the chance to do so right now. Matt, that is a championship, so you go in with all of the form, all of the plaudits that go along with it. How big is this achievement for you in the context of your sim racing career?
Yeah, I mean, it's probably the biggest achievement I've ever had in my sim career. Yeah, it's a massive opportunity, and to go in as P1 in the championship as well is only a bonus. So yeah, bit of a dirty move at the last corner, but it's all right. Still, I'm happy to win the championship. Yeah.
Happy to win the championship. Now, I'm going to say a couple names here to you. Elvis Rankin, Sebastian Weldon, Ivan Machado. 3 drivers who have come through this series, 3 drivers who have gone on to take that seat, and 3 drivers who have gone on to win the championship or be in the championship fight with that seat. Do you think you can be driver number 4?
Yeah, I mean, you've got to believe in yourself, haven't you? I think we'll see what happens when it comes to it. But yeah, no, I back myself. I think if I go out there, put my mind to it, I think I can do well. Obviously, the other 2 drivers are obviously really fast, and it's not just about pace. But yeah, we'll see what happens.
We certainly will, and we'll see you in VIR in Alton, Virginia for that. Matt Caruana, your series champion, getting things all done. Reese has taken a little run down the virtual paddock, and he finds himself with the driver who will be in 2nd position overall when the championship is all said and done. But before we do that, we're going to have Reese have a little chat with your race winner here today. That is Aiden Young, and he's with Reese right now.
Yeah, how do you feel about that one, Aiden? We certainly didn't expect you to be crossing the line and first going into that final corner. I think you were just as stunned as we were.
Oh, no, definitely. I was just like, okay, well, I'm a little far back, so let me try and push as hard as I can to catch them. And then right by the end of the lap, I gotten within 2/10. So when I saw both Matt and Aaron intensely fighting there, I was like, okay, if one of these guys messes up, then I need to be right there to capitalize. So when Aaron sent it in the final corner, I watched him lose the rear of his car a little bit, and I moved over to the right, and I was like, if I can time this right, then I can cross them both over and get them. So I braked at what I thought was the right spot, and then I told myself 1, 2, wait, and then when I did, I turned and I just hit the gas, just floored it, and it was really close to the line. At first, my timing didn't say I had it, but then when it said I had it, I was just I was relieved. But that race was a lot of fun. I lost my voice from screaming, and I don't know if you could see, but I was going pretty crazy there.
Yeah, don't worry. I almost lost my voice as well. That was a crazy finish, but I think very deservingly you have gotten third place in the championship. That's going to give you 3 days at the Skip Barber Racing School, race coaching as well, and entry into the SBRS Formula Car Shootout. A fantastic opportunity for you for sure.
Yeah, I'm excited. That's for sure. I can't wait. It's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing how you do, Aiden. Thanks for joining us. Meanwhile, Jake, I understand second in the championship is coming in with us now. You've got Aaron Vasquez.
I absolutely do. Aaron, you've got 13,000 iRating. You've got the most iRating out of anybody in all of iRacing. You have one of the most amazing skill sets that sim racing has to offer, and you've booked your place in the Skip Barber Formula iRacing Series Shootout. As far as all of the accolades, all of the achievements, all the great sim races you've been a part of, where does this rank for you?
I mean, actually, I'm really happy. I don't have any words because always my dream in this life was like try to test a car in real life, basically, even a formula, like it's crazy. So I'm really happy. Actually, I didn't expect that I could make this dream doing sim racing. So actually, I don't have words right now, but yeah, the dream is here. So we have the chance now to test the Formula 4 in Virginia, I think it is. So I'm really happy. I hope it will be amazing there. So thank you for everything, basically. Yeah, thank you for this opportunity you make for the drivers in sim racing, because everyone in this life has not too much money overall, basically, so we cannot get these opportunities in real life. So this type of championship that give this prize, so it's amazing. So I'm really happy, and I don't have any words right now.
It's absolutely wonderful, and we'll wish you the best of luck here, Aaron, when it comes to racing action in VIR later on in the fall. He joins us second place in the championship overall. But let's take a final look at your point standings for how everything has come about this season. And, well, it will be Matt Caruana who walks in to VIR as champion, but he will have Aaron Vasquez and Aiden Young. And I think that final race has proved it today, Reese. Any one of those three can win a race, and any one of those three can walk away with $500,000 worth of driving seat.
Absolutely. That is the big prize here. Can any of those three make their mark in the real-life racing world after winning one of the most competitive championships we've seen yet here, Jake? It's been a pleasure, honestly. This has been a fantastic series. We've had brilliant displays of driving from all of our top three. Every single one of them deserves that prize.
Yeah, there have been so many amazing talents who have gone through this series and have done amazing things. You know, we talk about Elvis Rankin, we talk about Sebastian Weldon, we don't talk enough about other drivers who've come through who maybe haven't got the seat that they've wanted, Reese, and have still gone on to success. I look at a driver like Harley Horton, for example, who became the Great British Drivers Association Young Driver of the Year, drove in this series, finished fourth in the championship a few years back.
Yeah, indeed. You know, even if you don't make the headlines, you can still get noticed. You can still pique the interest of racing teams out there and allow yourself an opportunity to jump from the sim to the real world. I think that is the main point of this championship, finding that next generation of talent from one of the best championships that sim racing has to offer.
Yeah, and there is so much amazing, great sim racing with us on iRacing. For example, we'll have the iRacing Indy 6 Hour that'll be coming along this weekend, which will be fantastic to get into for all of your sim racing buzz. But as far as 2025 is concerned for this championship, this is where we have to pull the curtains back and say it is all done and dusted. 2026 will hopefully be just as amazing on the horizon, but you got three very worthy drivers very close in the championship who each deserve their place. Aiden Young, Aaron Vasquez and Matt Caruana, they've got their place at VIR. Will one of those three get $500,000 seat and say they are the next driver in the Skip Barber Racing Series?